I'm Chuck Lefevre, President of the Board of Directors here at Graycliff, and on behalf of the board, our wonderful employees, and our many volunteers, I'd like to welcome you to celebrate Graycliff 2020, from our home to yours. Thank you for coming to us from the comfort of your home as we celebrate the enormous progress that we've made towards the restoration of the summer home of Isabel and Darwin D. Martin. While we would love to be celebrating tonight in person, the silver lining is that we can all come together using this medium and collectively experience what makes Graycliff so special. So tonight our program will take us back in time to the property as the Martins experienced it and envisioned it. And then we'll fast forward to the present day as we're super excited about being able to present a performance of original music by a really talented trio from the Colored Musicians Club of Buffalo, right here at Graycliff. And so thank you for joining us tonight from wherever you happen to be. A special thanks to all those who are enjoying dinner from one of our restaurant partners, including the 100 Acres at the Hotel Henry and the Roycroft Inn in East Aurora. It's no coincidence that our selected restaurants operate out of historic sites, as we are here to celebrate our restored jewel on the lake, designed by Frank Lloyd Wright. A special thanks to the Hooper Family Foundation, the Baird Foundation, Freed Maxick, Diane Chrisman, Judith Fisher, HHL Architects in Situ. And also a thank you to our many generous donors who have helped make our online auction a success tonight. So bid high. This year has been like no other, and this event is like no other that we've ever executed. And while we're embracing the many aspects of the change in format, the reality is that there's enormous pressure for us to make up the significant loss of revenue that's a direct result of the pandemic this year. So thank you all for your support, for showing up and viewing our program, and for bidding on the silent auction, and for continuing to support Graycliff going forward. I think you'll all agree Graycliff is an important and irreplaceable historic site here in Western New York, and that deserves to be celebrated tonight and for many years to come. And so please enjoy the program, and we welcome you. We hope to welcome you to the grounds of Graycliff very soon. Thank you, and stay well.
Thank you, and my apologies for the technical difficulties. I promise that it will be smoother moving forward. So I'm Anna Kaplan. I'm going to be your MC for the evening, and welcome to Celebrate Graycliff 2020, from our home to yours. I hope you are all cozied up in your homes with a good meal and a glass of your favorite beverage to celebrate what has been an extraordinary season for Graycliff. When I use the word extraordinary, I don't mean to imply the challenges brought along by the current weight of the world. Instead, I wish to stress the remarkable nature of this season and everything that we have managed to accomplish. Thank you for being here to celebrate all that is Graycliff, from the compelling architecture and significant gardens, to the beauty of the lake beyond and the magic that the combination of all of these elements create when you're on the property. We're also celebrating tonight all of the people that allow for the Graycliff Conservancy to further our mission to protect, restore, and promote this very important place. Darwin and Isabel Martin's summer home, Dorothy and James Foster's summer home, Margaret Martin Foster, and Derry Martin Foster's summer home. A home and a precious treasure to a family that has imbued the property with a positive energy based on years of happy memories that can still be felt today. Excuse me while I take a minute to bring up my slideshow. I want to take this opportunity to orient you to our program tonight. We will be celebrating the people that are essential to Graycliff, both the Martins themselves and those that have ensured their home has been cared for, loved, and appreciated. We will then have the pleasure of having our own private concert. A trio of musicians associated with Buffalo's historic Colored Musicians Club will play for us original music on the steps of Graycliff's Lakeside Terrace. While I know we would all love to be together in person, there are some major perks to this event. Firstly, I'm willing to bet many of you are already in your PJs, and I don't blame you. I'm definitely not wearing heels. And if you're not, feel free to change. We should have advertised this as a pajama party. Other perks include not having a bad seat in the house, drinking exactly what you want with your dinner, and not having to hover over a physical bid sheet to make sure you're not outbid in the silent auction. Tonight, you can preserve your anonymity completely and swoop in and snag exactly what you want through the convenience of bidding right through your phone. Please send an email to Ryan at tours@graycliffestate.org for any assistance on the technology if you need it, and he'll get right back to you. The most exciting perk of all is being able to join us from wherever you are tonight. It's safe to say that this event has engaged more individuals than we ever have been able to in past years. Yikes. Before we move forward with our program, I have to thank our incredible events committee who helped to build this event from the ground up this year, as we collectively tackled and hopefully mastered with finesse, and that'll be up to you to decide, the brave new world of virtual fundraising. Thank you to this group of dedicated and generous individuals. We also would not be here tonight without our generous sponsors. If our event committee built the opportunity, it was this group of supporters who handed us a ladder to get onto the roof. Many, many thanks to the Hooper Family Foundation, the Baird Foundation, Freed Maxick, Diane Chrisman, Judith Fisher, HHL Architects, and Situ. Thank you also to the numerous organizations and individuals who made in-kind donations, including Buffalo Spree and Farm for being our marketing partners, and for all of those who donated exceptional experiences and quality items to our silent auction. This is a very important part of the event from a fundraising perspective, and we are so grateful to be able to offer a truly exciting collection of lots. Be sure to take a peek. Jana or Ryan, could you please post a link in the chat to remind people of where they can find the auction? Bidding will close at 7:30 p.m. So let's begin with the Martin family. Graycliff, as most of us all know, was designed for Isabel Reedpath Martin, who was the client of prominence and worked with Frank Lloyd Wright to design a refuge on the lake, a place where she would spend the summer months from 1928 all the way until just a couple years before her death in 1945. And this is long after her husband, Darwin, who purchased the property as a gift for his wife, passed in 1935. Isabel was joined by her daughter, Dorothy, and her nuclear family, the Fosters, who we see here on the left. The children lovingly pictured in these family photographs are Margaret and Derry, both of whom were born in 1930 and had the incredible opportunity to have a large part of their childhood center around this exceptional place. They remember their summers at Graycliff as a very happy time, filled with light and love, memories which still occupy corners of their mind, which speaks to the powerful grasp of Graycliff, as they both are now 90 years old. I had the wonderful pleasure of meeting Derry just last month, witnessing as he rediscovered his childhood home. I'd like to share with you some footage of that very special visit. When Darwin Martin Foster, affectionately referred to as Derry or Jerry, visited the area with his daughter Denise and grandson Tyler. I'm now going to pass the mic over to Chuck, our board president, who will speak to the importance of our honorees this evening.
As we've all seen, Graycliff was designed by right to be light and airy and flooded with sunshine, to respect Isabel Martin's longing for a safe home for her family, which fortunately was here to shelter her from the turbulent times ahead. So in honor of Isabel's wavering demands of right, tonight we honor several of our volunteers with our Diamond Awards to thank them for helping us in our mission to maintain the wonderful sunshine that continues to flood Graycliff every day. Anna?
Thank you, Chuck. We are truly thrilled to have the opportunity to honor these individuals with Diamond Awards tonight. Jim Charlier, the many talented and generous individuals of Farm, and owner Larry Robb, and finally Marion Schmidt. Each year, a very select group of individuals and organizations are recognized with our Diamond Award. The award is named for our iconic diamond window, which you can see pictured here. It's on the second floor of the Isabel R. Martin House. Like that window, recipients of this award have been integral to Graycliff. It is through their efforts that the organization has been able to succeed and flourish. We thank them for the significant impact they have had on the Graycliff Conservancy. Let's begin with Jim Charlier. Jim has been a dedicated Graycliff volunteer for nearly a decade. Having served as a director on the Graycliff board, Jim also led the marketing committee and helped transition Graycliff's grassroots local marketing into a modern effort, paving the way to share Graycliff's beauty with the world. In addition to his commitment to Graycliff, Jim has also been a champion and director of Gardens Buffalo Niagara and co-author of Buffalo Style Gardens. We are very proud to award Jim the Diamond Award for his passion, leadership, generosity, and creativity. Thank you, Jim. I know I saw you here somewhere. Next up is Farm. With headquarters in Lancaster, New York, marketing firm Farm has been a partner and friend of Graycliff since 2016. Their commitment to Graycliff has been nothing short of extraordinary, giving generously both financially and through their in-kind marketing efforts. Thank you to Farm for the logo design for tonight's event. And that's just a very small example of what Farm has done for Graycliff and continues to do on a regular basis.
I might be muted. I can't figure out how to unmute it.
Is led by CEO Brian LaFave, who also currently sits on our board of directors. He's pictured here and has been recognized nationally for their recognized nationally for their marketing campaigns. Graycliff is honored to award Farm the Diamond Award for their dedication, passion, generosity, and most importantly, their enormous creativity. Thank you so much to the Farm team. We, of course, cannot speak of Farm without their owner, Larry Robb. Larry has been a champion and immense supporter of Graycliff for close to a decade. His connection to Graycliff goes back to family roots, as Larry's great-grandfather was John D. Larkin, who we are very aware of here at Graycliff for being the head of the Larkin Soap Company and Darwin D. Martin's employer. Larry's early support of Graycliff over the years has helped to share our jewel on the lake with fans across the world. It should be noted that just last month, Larry was named Buffalo District Small Business Person of the Year by the U.S. Small Business Administration. And Graycliff is honored to add to Larry's accomplishments by presenting him with the Diamond Award for his generosity, passion, creativity, and dedication. Thank you, Larry. Last, but by no means least, we have Marion Schmidt. Marion has been a constant and irreplaceable supporter of Graycliff for nearly 2 decades. Her contributions to Graycliff include helping to develop our retail program, training new classes of docents and volunteers, serving as a volunteer co-chair when we were a volunteer-run organization and before we had a volunteer coordinator on our staff, serving as a director on the Graycliff board, serving and leading as the head of our collections committee, and sharing Graycliff with hundreds, maybe even 1,000 guests across the world as an extraordinary docent and ambassador. Her efforts and commitment have been nothing short of astounding, and Graycliff is honored to award Marion our Diamond Award for her loyalty, generosity, leadership, and her never-ending passion. Thank you, Marion. Now I'm going to share some brief footage of when I had the opportunity to present these awards in person. This is not the end of our recognition tonight, as we also honor Patrick Mahoney with the designation of a lifetime honorary board appointment. The history of Graycliff is not complete without the mention of Patrick Mahoney. Pat first visited Graycliff in 1979 during the tenure of the Pierrest fathers, and he could envision what once was a treasured Martin family home. Continuing to study rights work and an established architect in his own right, Pat was one of the original 30 individuals that took the incredible initiative to form the Graycliff Conservancy in 1997 and dedicated themselves to restoring and preserving Graycliff as a publicly accessible landmark. Since then, Pat has dedicated himself to the restoration of Graycliff, having served numerous terms as a director of the Graycliff board, including as president. He helped lead early restoration efforts and physically participated himself in these efforts, uncovering many elements of the property that had been hidden over the years. His love for Graycliff continues to this day as he shares his passion with guests on his sought-after master architectural tour of the property. His dedication, loyalty, generosity, and passion over the last 20 plus years has been exceptional. Graycliff Conservancy is proud to name Pat as a lifetime honorary director of the Graycliff Board. Congratulations, Pat. And now I will lead us into the portion of the program where we will hear a very talented group of musicians and also learn a little bit about Buffalo's Historic Colored Musicians Club from their president, George Scott. This is the important time in the program where I invite you to grab a glass of wine or your favorite beverage, sit back and relax while we all enjoy the mellow offerings of Rishawn Odell, Carl Johnson, and Avis Reese.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Historic Colored Musicians Club. You're sitting right now in the Musicians Club Museum. My name is George Scott. I'm a board member of the Colored Musicians Club, and glad to have you today. Give you a little story of how this whole thing started. Back in 1917, the musicians of color would finally have a union of their own, and it would be known as Local 533. Now, for the first several years, they would bounce around as far as a club, but then eventually in 1935, they would open and own this building on 145 Broadway, where the Colored Musicians Club would be born. And with that said, we would have some of the most famous historic musicians in the world would come through this building. We're talking Ella Fitzgerald, we're talking Lena Horne, we're talking Duke Ellington, Count Basie, John Coltrane, Charlie Parker, just to name a few, all passed through this place. In addition to that, many of our local musicians got to tour with some of the famous names that I just mentioned. This area right here was the Union Hall for these musicians. They would vote on things or just set up different gigs. And the upstairs was where the magic really happened, because after they got done with those shows, they would jam up there. And maybe some of the better shows were upstairs in the jam session than when they played throughout Buffalo. But it's a very special place, and it's still magical today. So if you like, definitely come down and check us out. We'll have a schedule posted for you. And again, thank you so much for joining us at the Colored Musicians Club, 145 Broadway.
I'm back. I hope you enjoyed the performance. I'm going to play one last song tonight as we finish up our program. So thank you so much to the Colored Musicians Club of Buffalo and to Rishan, Carl, and Reese for that wonderful performance. Now I'm here to thank you again to our sponsors and also to thank all of you for tuning in and for your support. It's a time in the program where I let you know that this year has been extraordinary. And now when I use the word, I do mean to imply how extraordinary difficult it has been from a financial standpoint. Because of the pandemic, we have not seen well over $150,000 of budgeted revenue, and there is a pressure with this event to raise more than we have in the past. We have slimmed back our operations as much as possible and adjusted our programming to be able to safely open to the public, but there still exists a significant gap to fill. And I ask you now to please consider upping your bid on a silent auction item just a little bit more. Purchasing one of the pennants or camp flags by Oxford Pennant, or simply consider making a straight donation right through the event website. And you should be getting a text about that. And it's also in the chat. Every little bit truly counts, and we are so very grateful for all of you and your efforts to help ensure that we can continue our mission, that is to be the protector of Graycliff. I'm going to share with you this video.
Welcome to Graycliff, this beautiful place just outside of Buffalo, New York. I encourage you to come and visit the beauty, serenity that is on the lake here in Western New York.
What I love about Graycliff is the human story. The story of the Martin family, the story of the Pierce fathers, having the students out here on this campus, the grounds maintained by volunteers, the rescue of this place by volunteers, the long-term leadership of so many people, and the love of the community that has made this place possible. It's all about people. It is a very human place, and I hope that it will be successful for years to come, with many more people choosing to be involved and invested in Graycliff.
Hi, I'm Roger, and I love coming out to Graycliff. It's very peaceful. I love working in the gardens, and every bush here has a story, so it's very interesting to me.
Okay.
I love being at Graycliff because the people here are wonderful to work with, and it's so relaxing.
Okay. What I like about Graycliff is its relevance to today. Today's family would love living here.
One of the greatest pleasures that I've had working with Graycliff for over the last 10 years has been, or more, has been just working with all the wonderful board members and executive directors and staff here. It's been a pleasure to watch this place change to the better, and it's I highly suggest that others participate. It's a fun place to work.
What I love about Graycliff is there's never a bad view in the house.
So we came out to Graycliff 2 years ago for an extended tour because we hadn't been here for years. And we were so impressed with what has happened that the following day we bought a house next door.
So our extended tour turned into an extended stay.
One of my favorite things about Graycliff is the gardens, and I love the flowers here and all the pops of color. I think they're wonderful.
I love what Graycliff says about the client, Isabel Martin, and Wright's willingness to yield to her and give her what she needed and wanted in her summer home.
What I really love about Graycliff is just the serenity of the site. Every time I come out here, it's another peaceful day.
What I love about Graycliff is the natural light. And when you look at it from any angle, the light comes into the house. It's beautiful coming through the windows. It just accentuates all the great positivity of the home and how it was built. And I also love that when you look from the front, you can see straight through to the back and see the beautiful lake, and it's just an amazing view. So there's so much to like about Graycliff, but those are just a couple of the highlights.
On behalf of Explore Buffalo, I want to extend my appreciation for all that Graycliff does to promote architecture and history here in Buffalo and to complement what we at Explore Buffalo do, along with the camaraderie among our staff and among our volunteers that helps to build a stronger cultural community here in Buffalo and Western New York.
I love photographing at Graycliff because you get a really great mix of nature, beautiful flowers, and then the architecture is amazing too.
I've been enamored with Frank Lloyd Wright and his design since I was in high school, and it's been the highlight of my public service career to be able to serve on the board of Graycliff for 6 years.
What I love about Graycliff is including all the architecture and everything else is the stories behind it, everything that is meant to Buffalo along the way.
What I love about Graycliff is the absolutely beautiful way that the house harmonizes with the lake and the grounds, and the entire place while you're here just helps you decompress and remember who you are.
What I love about being at Graycliff is being able to see this garden change from week to week.
I like bringing my kids to Graycliff because it's a safe educational activity.
I love Graycliff because it is the most magnificent setting along the lake, and I love to imagine the history here. I love to picture the family in the rooms enjoying every bit of this beautiful landscape.
What I love about Graycliff is that it is the perfect embodiment of the natural house in the setting of one of the Great Lakes. Frank Lloyd Wright's concept of a house on the Great Lakes, perfectly embodied by this.
I love Graycliff because I think it's such a magical property to be at, and it's just a wonderful atmosphere to be in and be surrounded by.
I've been volunteering at Graycliff for 12 years, and I love Graycliff for the people. They're all wonderful, and it's a wonderful place to visit, and I hope everybody comes back.
What I like about Graycliff is just coming here every week, and it's like therapy to me. Walking through the history, through the beautiful grounds, and seeing the magnificent architecture. It makes every day seem brighter when I'm here.
In reflecting about why I love Graycliff, it goes back 25 years, and I have watched this place evolve into one of the most magnificent venues, architectural treasures that I've ever visited. And I think it has a lot to do with the wind, the waves, the light, and the ability of this place to be alive at all times. It's ever changing. It's a delight to be here today.
Before I lead you into the final song played by the trio from the Colored Musicians Club, I just have a few bits of housekeeping. Just a reminder that our silent auction ends very shortly at 7:30. Last I checked, the opportunity to be the very first to play on our newly restored tennis court had only one bid. The winner of this lot, that would be you and your small party of up to 6 people, will be invited to use the tennis court for 2 hours. And the lot also includes 6 Graycliff etched champagne flutes and beverages for your party while you play, plus a private extended tour, a 2-hour tour, which can be used that day or on another day. There is also another truly one-of-a-kind opportunity to have a private reception for your group of up to 6 at the Walter V. Davidson House on Tillinghast in Buffalo. I cannot push this more because it really is going to be such a wonderful, special experience. You'll get a very delicious spread. It will not be cube cheese, I promise you. And you'll get a docent-led tour of this privately owned Wright property. Plus, you'll have an overnight stay at the Parkside House B&B. You'll have 3 rooms there, and you'll have the entire B&B all to yourself. And that's not all. You'll also get a private tour of the Martin House, which you can schedule for the next morning. So please bid high tonight. Those are just 2 examples of some very interesting, exciting different auction lots with COVID-friendly, safe experiences for you and a small group of people. Thanks to the generosity of our donors, nearly all of your silent auction dollars tonight will go directly to supporting the Graycliff Conservancy. After the auction ends, we will be in touch with you about the specifics of your win. And I want to mention that you do have to have a credit card on file to bid or to donate, but you don't have to pay for your auction win that way. If you'd like to make your payment via check instead, just let us know by 12 p.m. tomorrow and we can make that happen. So the deadline is 12 p.m. tomorrow. You can call Graycliff or email us at tours@graycliffestate.org. If you purchased a wine pull without dinner, you can swing by Graycliff during our business hours all weekend long to grab your bottle. You may consider timing it with a tour. We have open house tours scheduled for tomorrow and Saturday afternoons, and these are self-guided tours that are included in your Graycliff membership or just $15 a person if you're not a member. I just want to thank you again, truly from the bottom of my heart. For me personally, it has been a real delight getting to know Graycliff over these past several months, and I look forward to being a part of its support system and growth in the upcoming years. Thank you and have a lovely evening. I'll leave you with a final song from Rashawn Odell, Carl Johnson, and Avis Reese. And after that, you don't have to go anywhere. You can feel free to stick around. We'll roll into the silent auction items and you can see where the lots are. So thanks again, everyone.